Holland will take a knee. Booming kickoff by Prater. And a double tight end set to open up. Zach Miller and Tony Stewart. Hand off to Darren McFadden up the middle for Oakland. They are committed to the run. They are a run-first team. 1 yard gain. Mario Hagan there to make the stop. 2nd and 9 coming up for Tom Cable's Oakland Raiders.
2nd and 9.
Just underway here in Oakland. Opening drive for the Raiders. Raiders coming off a 13-10 victory in Kansas City. Had a 9-play, 69-yard drive to take the lead late. Outgained by the Chiefs 409 to 166. Russell, little floater, short one to McFadden, and loses the football. Kenny Peterson with a shot. The Raiders will hold on to it. Chris Morris, the center, was there. Receivers, both the rookies, Hayward Bay and Lewis Murphy. 2 running backs, McFadden and Bush on a 3rd and long. Russell's got that cannon arm. They'll throw it underneath. Michael Bush turning it upfield and crosses the 25-yard line. Raiders 3 and out to open up as Darrell Reed, the outside linebacker, made the stop. An 8-yard pickup through the air.
Well, they've had problems with these 3 and outs, not starting games better, and that's got to be something that they've talked about obviously during the week. It's a point of emphasis. They obviously have a very good punter in Shane Leckler, but this is not the way you want to start games, particularly here at home.
Shane Leckler averaged just under 57 yards a punt last week on 7 punts against Kansas City. Eddie Royal, the dangerous return man, now moves forward, and this will be from the 26. Royal looking to cut it to the outside, and the silver and black make it down the field. Well, Kyle Orton has been wearing a protective glove because of his right index finger. He says so far on the young season, 2 games, he just hasn't had his feel on only 2 throws. Handoff, it's Buckhalter, and Buckhalter actually ran into his own man, Jabbar Gaffney, to limit the gain of 4 yards. Shotgun formation on 2nd down and right over the middle on cue. Marshall, such a physical specimen at 6'4", 230 pounds. It's a 14-yard hookup. Howard and Morrison, the linebackers, combined to bring him down. On 1st down, play fake, and Orton on time makes the connection with Tony Scheffler into Oakland territory out near the 35-yard line. Tyvon Branch making the hit defensively.
Well, they do a lot of things offensively to create some matchup problems for the Raiders defensively. They'll do some things formationally. I think the other thing you're going to see is you're going to see tighter splits by some of the Denver receivers. You're going to see some stack releases. You're going to see a lot of short motion to get them off all that press coverage that the Raiders play defensively.
No Sean Marino is in. He's dealing with a groin injury. He suffered late in the week in practice. And Marino on a stunner step. The rookie out of Georgia spinning his way out across the 30-yard line. Ricky Brown bringing him down. Double tight end set on a 2nd and 1, and Marino gets stuffed. No Sean Marino trying to squeeze through the hole. We'll see where they spot it. Tommy Kelly with a stop on that defensive front. It was enough for the 1st down. 6th play of the drive. Plenty of time on a crossing route, able to find his man Marshall. So right out of the gate, Brandon Marshall getting involved. 24 catches after 2 games last season, only 7 for Marshall through 2 games this year.
And keep an eye right here. Here's Brandon Marshall. He's going to be covered by a linebacker. That is a mismatch. And the Raiders play so much man-to-man coverage. You see right here, Kurt Morrison can't hang with Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall has had a great week of practice. I look for him to get a lot of work in this game.
New set of downs for Denver to work with at the 16-yard line. Back to the running game. Hand off to Buckhalter. And Buckhalter turns it upfield and rumbles inside the 10. Good block on that right side by Chris Cooper. 8-yard gain for the former Philadelphia Eagle Buckhalter.
You know, there was a lot of turnover defensively with this football team. I'm talking about Denver. But offensively, there were a lot of pieces in place, particularly this offensive line. It's a very good offensive line. They returned all 5 starters from a year ago. And you always think of this unit in terms of the running game, but they've been good in terms of the pass protection. They allowed a league low just 12 sacks last year.
And right now they're shredding this Oakland defense on a 2nd and 2. Buckhalter with a head of steam. He takes it right to the goal line. 7-yard pickup. It's 1st and goal for Denver inside the 1, and the offensive line dominating.
And the thing I like about both of these backs for Denver, they're very decisive. It's just one cut, and they head right downhill. Not a lot of indecision with either Corell Buckholder or Marino. Very decisive backs.
Russ Hochstein has checked in as a tight end. 9th play of this drive for Denver.
And they're like Peyton Hillis in this situation, a big, powerful fullback.
1st and goal from the 1, and flags come down.
False start offense, number 22. 5-yard penalty. It's 1st down.
Little antsy.
Ed Hockley.
Peyton Hillis, he wanted to score that touchdown so bad he jumped off sides. That's inexcusable as a running back in that situation. You get the ball inside the 1-yard line. Now you get it. Now you come out of the game. There goes your touchdown opportunity.
So Peyton Hillis, a 2nd year out of Arkansas, actually played with Darren McFadden, helped block for him back in their college days. So back it up now to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. Marino is now in there for Denver. Handoff to the rookie, and Marino.
Boy, he's slippery.
Able to shed tacklers, but could not break free in that 2nd level. It's a 2-yard gain. Tyvon Branch first got to slow him down, and then linebackers came over to help make the play. Ricky Brown.
Well, you're going to see Nnamdi Asomugha. He gets the first shot at him, he misses, but there's a lot of team speed on this defense, particularly in the back end. The corners, the safeties, and these linebackers can all run sideline to sideline.
And Hillis will check back in now, playing in front of Marino. On a 2nd and goal, Denver looking to get on the board first.
False start again.
And a fumble. Flag comes down as Marino lost the ball, was able to regather.
Oh, helmet went flying.
Ryan Clady lost his hat. So Denver getting sloppy here.
Offside. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Boy, you just can't do that.
Boy, Tommy Kelly, now in his 6th year out of Mississippi State.
Well, this is a defense, Ian, that's been very susceptible in the past to the hard count. And you know, a veteran quarterback like Kyle Orton, they study that on film. They look at tendencies. Good opportunity right there to try one.
Set it up, 2nd and goal from the 2. Orton on the give. Hillis trying to push the pile. Didn't get there. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. A 1-yard gain for Peyton Hillis.
Well, you just look at this movement up front. Look how everyone's packed in there, jammed in there in a tight formation, and just counting on the fullback, Hillis, to get some movement. Good job by that defense, being stout up inside and holding them.
Broncos yet to score on their first offensive possession. This is week 3 for Denver. 2-0. Had the 27-6 win over Cleveland last week. 3rd and goal. Fans getting charged up. 3 tight ends in the formation. Hillis, he's stacked up. Oh, the Raiders defense has to feel good about themselves, holding Denver to a field goal as it looked like the Broncos were moving down the field with ease.
And I don't see the field goal unit coming on right now just yet for Denver. But I'll tell you what, that's a great stop up inside. You see the movement, you see the push, and you see the penetration. And that's what usually gets you. You see Mike Mitchell coming up in there from the safety position. Good job by those linebackers staying at home and filling in those gaps.
They're going to go for it. Lamont Jordan, the former Raider, has checked in for Denver.
And if they don't get it here, I'll tell you what, Peyton Hillis is going to get an earful on the sidelines.
12th play of the drive. Handoff, Jordan. Didn't get it. They stuffed him. Thomas Howard. Now defensively, the Oakland Raiders, initially Denver was doing whatever they wanted on offense. Got bogged down deep in Oakland's territory. Russell's pass dropped by Luke Lawton. And Champ Bailey was over there. That nearly was disaster for the Raiders.
And I'll tell you, they're making the easy throws look difficult, and that's a problem right here. Set your feet, make a good, accurate throw to the fullback, and you learn when you throw to fullbacks, you can't lead them. You have to put it on them, particularly with a guy like Champ Bailey lurking close by. You know, And they have to be sick to their stomach offensively, the Denver Broncos. 12 plays, 68 yards. They take up 7 minutes and 43 seconds. They come away with no points.
Last week, Jamarcus Russell, 7 of 24, 109 yards. Was at 1.3 of 18. Russell out of his own end zone. Deep ball, intercepted. Picked off by Ronaldo Hill for Denver. Hill breaking tackles and brought down out across the 25. Russell was looking for the rookie Darius Hayward-Bay, and Oakland turns it over.
Well, the protection is good. You got plenty of time, and then they live and die with this vertical passing game. They take a shot into double coverage. You can see Brian Dawkins right there, as well as Ronaldo Hill, and that's just one you can't throw when you're backed up in your own end zone. Just a good alert play right here by Ronaldo Hill. And if you're Hayward-Bay, you have to go up and get that ball. You have to protect the quarterback. You just can't wait on it. You have to attack the ball at its highest point.
Now feet got tangled as Hayward-Bay went down, and Hill just stuck with the play. He looked more like the receiver on that play.
Well, they've done a good job so far, the Raiders this year offensively, taking care of the football. A little careless right there.
So Denver takes over at the Oakland 23-yard line. Double tight end set. And some trickery. Brandon Marshall got those long strides as he's brought down just inside the 20-yard line. A 5-yard gain for Marshall. So big part of this game plan early on, Brandon Marshall, who was MIA the first couple of weeks.
And I think the reason he got off to a slow start, obviously the training camp fiasco and missing a lot of time, not being healthy. And I think the other thing is there's been a lot of new learning for him in this offense, learning this new system under Josh McDaniels, and it's taken him a while, but they said he had a great week of practice, and they're expecting big things out of him today.
So a 2nd and 5 now from the 19-yard line for Denver. They had no points to show for their long drive to open things up as Marino attempts to accelerate, and Thomas Howard is there to limit him to a 3.5-yard gain. The fact that this Denver team has so many weapons now, people were surprised that Marino was their first-round pick. Everybody just assumed they would have to go defense, but they ended up committing defensively via free agency and making sweeping changes on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, you know what, though? Josh McDaniels, he knows how to win football games, and they win football games here in Denver by running the football, and that's why they went out and got Marino.
Well, this is a 3rd and 1 now for the Broncos trying to keep this drive going. It is Marino, big hole, and a first down for Noshawn Marino. He's not going down easily. The number 12 pick overall, known as a complete back. First running back taken by Denver in the first round since 1985. A complete turnover on this roster, Rich.
Well, you know, changing the culture and the environment, it's a process, and it's not always pleasant. You look at this current roster, it features 30 new players, and you look what they've done in free agency. They've turned over half of that roster. And Josh McDaniels told us last night, he said he couldn't be happier with this current group of players. They've worked hard, and they've bought into this system.
1st and goal for Denver from the 5 on a handoff. Buckhalter, and running into a crowd inside the 3. 3-yard pickup for Correll Buckhalter.
The thing about Denver offensively, they continue to change personnel. They bring tight ends on the field, and receivers, backs are coming in and out, so you really have to pay attention to the personnel that's on the field. The other thing they do is they give you a multitude of looks in terms of formations, in terms of shifts, motions, so you really got to be sharp defensively. That's something the Raiders have had a hard time of in the past against Denver.
Denver, the only offense in the NFL yet to commit a turnover. Fake the handoff.
Throw it away.
He's got time, and he throws it out of the end zone. So you saw it right from the start. Nothing going for Kyle Orton. Tight coverage there on Jabbar Gaffney.
And that's referred to as a shot play. You sell the run, you just have 2 receivers out on the route. You either fool them or you don't. Good veteran play by Kyle Orton. And that's the thing that Josh McDaniels really likes about this cornerback. He's a very smart player. And he said you have to be very intelligent to play in this system. There's a lot demanded and expected of the quarterback.
109 straight pass attempts without an interception. 2nd longest active streak in the NFL behind Aaron Rodgers. Shotgun formation, 3rd and goal. Denver.
There's that matchup again.
And a touchdown, Brandon Marshall.
And that's going to be a problem all day for the Raiders if they can't figure out a way to cover up Brandon Marshall and some of these other receivers when they're inside in the slot formation. When you put a linebacker like Kirk Morrison on Brandon Marshall, you're going to lose every time. Here it is right here. He's just going to work across the middle of the field. Look, he's matched up again on the linebacker. They run these little option routes where Brandon Marshall has the ability to go inside or outside, and Kirk Morrison's not going to be able to handle that speed.
Denver Broncos with a 7-0 lead. Brandon Marshall went to the Pro Bowl last year. Back-to-back seasons with over 100 catches. Great size, so tough to bring down, and perfectly run route. Kyle Orton found him. Denver in front. Prater kicking off. Jonathan Holland, the deep man, and Prater again. All right, we're going to talk about Jamarcus Russell and what has been the issue for him so far on the young season, really over the course of his career. On first down, handoff for Darren McFadden, and McFadden is unable to turn it upfield. It's a 2-yard gain. Ronald Fields with the stop. Give us the quarterback breakdown from what you've seen of Jamarcus Russell.
Well, you know, I went back this week and studied every throw that he's made this season. Here's some issues. They've had 3 different play callers in just his short 3-year career here in Oakland. I think that's a problem. Inexperience, a lack of production at the wide receiver position has hurt him. And finally, the mechanics and fundamentals, really, he's got to find a way to get that straightened out. It's causing a problem with his accuracy right now.
And McFadden, running lane for Darren McFadden, and they've got a first down out across the 35. Good block from Cornell Green out on the right side of that line.
And this is how they want to beat you. And this is what they have to do to beat you. Right now, this offensive line has to open up some holes for these backs. And Darren McFadden can really hurt you when he gets up on that second level. He has a lot of team speed.
And McFadden, 35 yards rushing last week and a touchdown in that win over Kansas City. Russell, protection holds up, slings it right to Denver. Intercepted by Andre Goodman. And Goodman able to maintain his footing down the sideline, out across the 35, and now the reaction from Raider Nation.
And here come the Boo Birds, and the receiver he's thrown it to, Darius Hayward-Bay, has 1 catch so far this season, and he's really struggled when he's thrown to the wide receivers. You see him come out of the break, and almost all the throws he's missed this year are high, which tells me a number of things. He has to get lower, he has to get more knee bend, and I really think that he's just got to find a way to make accurate throws. Right now, you can't miss every throw high. Starting the game with 2 interceptions, just poor for Jamarcus Russell.
And he puts his defense in another hole here. Denver takes over with a 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line of Oakland. And Orton will open up. Shotgun formation, spread the field.
Get the matchups they want with these linebackers.
Orton in some trouble, able to get rid of it. And incomplete. He was looking for Brandon Marshall. And Gerard Warren with some pressure.
Well, you see there was a lot of talk about Jay Cutler and what he's done so far, and certainly there was some talk about Matt Castle possibly coming to Denver, but Kyle Orton is the guy, and you look at these numbers, he's got off to a great start. He's 2-0, and I really think Josh McDaniels feels like Kyle Orton can do the things that he needs to in this system and give him a chance to win each week, and that's really where you make your money in this league as a quarterback.
Once again, out of the shotgun, Orton flushed out, high throw, incomplete. McDaniels told us last night, before they made the deal, he watched every single play of Kyle Orton's career as a member of the Chicago Bears, and he felt more important than anything else. He thought that Orton could function mentally in this system. He'd be able to make the transition.
I think that speaks volumes. He said the first thing that jumped out at him, he's very smart. You know, a lot of responsibility in that Chicago system at the line of scrimmage. Would he be able to function in our system from the mental standpoint? He said absolutely, and that's really where he's made the most strides, picking up this verbiage and terminology in this new system in a very short period of time.
Brandon Stokely out there playing with a thigh injury. Set it up for Eddie Royal, trying to create after the catch, and nothing doing. Driven backwards, he gained 4 as he got to the 30-yard line. And Thomas Howard leading that charge along with Stanford Rout.
I really think tackling will be key today for this defense. Denver offensively, they have some good backs and wide receivers, and they are very good once they get the ball in their hands in the open field. Guys like Stokely, Eddie Royal, Brandon Marshall, you have to find a way to get these guys down early on first contact.
Matt Prater, he's dealing with the dirt there right around the shortstop position on the infield.
And he struggled, as you know, Ian, he missed two last week. So you know his confidence is a little shaken right now.
And Denver will use a timeout. And welcome back. The black hole here in Oakland. A 48-yard field goal attempt for Matt Prater of the Broncos. Now in his third year from Central Florida. Kern will hold it. Lonnie Paxton to snap it.
And these kickers hate kicking off that infield.
48-yarder, and he drills it. 4 plays, only 4 yards. Prater with a 48-yard field goal. A couple of interceptions for this Denver defense. And Jamarcus Russell off to, they can't even call it a rocky start. A horrible start here for the Oakland Raiders. 10-0 Denver in front as we start playing the second quarter.
Now you got to ask yourself, where is he in terms of his confidence right now? That's the issue. I mean, you're doing everything as a play caller to get him off to a good start, but boy, this has just been ugly so far here through the first quarter.
Matt Prater kicking off. Pair of touchbacks in the first quarter. And Johnny Holland, fresh off the practice squad, is going to return this one for Oakland. He gets stood up shy of the 15-yard line. Line of scrimmage will be the 14. Mario Hagan with a play. Raiders have it, 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Michael Bush in the backfield, and that's where Oakland will focus now after the mistake through the air. 3.5, 4-yard game, depending on the spot for Bush.
Well, look, you know he's struggling, but the good news for the Raiders is he's had some of his better games as a pro against the Denver Broncos. You look at those numbers right there, 127.3 quarterback rating. We need more of that today. And what did Brian Dawkins tell us last night, the safety for Denver? He said at any given time, with that type of arm, he can really catch fire. We just don't want it to be against us.
Yeah. Not on our watch, is what Brian Dawkins said.
I'm right here, Will.
What an addition Dawkins has been for this Denver defense, bringing leadership and a winning attitude. Dump off for McFadden, breaks a tackle, and strong second effort. Mario Hagan couldn't bring him down. It turns into a 7-yard gain and a first down for the Raiders. Now Parker hasn't been a big part of the running game, but look at him get involved through the air. Michael Bush, he is a bruiser. Broke his leg in 2006 at Louisville and has turned out to be a terrific selection in the 4th round. Would have been a much higher pick, but teams were scared off by that broken leg, and the question as to whether or not he'd be able to play at this level physically.
Well, I'll tell you what, their chances of winning go way down if they can't have success running the ball. That's what they have to do. Right now, the quarterback is struggling. They have 3 very competent backs with Bush, McFadden, and Vargas. They have to give these guys a lot of carries and touches.
Out of the gun, handed off for McFadden, and runs into a brick wall in the person of Kenny Peterson, now in his 7th year out of Ohio State. 2-yard gain for McFadden.
You know, getting back to Jamarcus Russell, I went back and broke down every throw that he made, and you know, the things that really jumped out at me, the fundamentals and mechanics, they need to improve, obviously, but these are things that can be corrected. But he seems to be much more comfortable operating out of the shotgun. His completion percentage goes up there. He's much more accurate when he's throwing to the tight end. And the other thing is he misses a lot of throws high. They're all things that can be corrected.
3rd and 2 now for Russell and the Raiders. From the gun. And over the middle, got his man, ball squirted loose. Ruled down at the 40-yard line. Lewis Murphy in a matchup with Brian Dawkins. And it will be a clean catch and a first down. How about experience level? Compare this. Murphy and Hayward Bay coming into this game, 4 games combined experience. The secondary, 42 years, the starting secondary in the NFL.
Yeah, that is an issue, but I'll tell you what, Lewis Murphy has really impressed some people. He's the leading rookie receiver right now in the AFC. He's averaging 19 yards a catch coming in, and he is playing a lot better than his Darius Hayward-Bay, who was picked in the 1st round.
New set of downs for Oakland to work with, just short of the 40-yard line. Back to the ground game, and McFadden. Darren McFadden, shifty move, finding that hole for a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 now, and Bush rumbles his way for a first down, and a flag thrown late after the play was over at midfield. It's a 3-yard gain. Denver indicating it will be against Oakland. Ed Hockley.
Offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And that's the center, Chris Morris, versatile player. There were some thoughts that Morris may shift over to play left guard in the absence of Robert Gallery, but Tom Cable told our crew, no, he just wanted to make one change on the offensive line. That's why Piers is there. Satelli would have stepped forward to play center if Morris had shifted to the left side.
And that's unfortunate because the Raiders lost their best offensive lineman in Robert Gallery. He's the most experienced guy on that unit. He's been here. He's been in Tom Cable's system, and he's excellent as a run blocker.
3 receiver set, Hayward Bay, Murphy, and Todd Watkins in his second year from BYU. Spread formation on a 2nd and 13. Michael Bush. Now Bush keeps the legs churning out across the 45. Zach Miller with a block to help create a little extra space, a 9-yard pickup. 3rd down coming up. 8th play of the drive. Darren McFadden, we know he is an all-around threat. Russell pumping, throwing, and he's got Murphy. 1st down, Raiders into Denver territory. Tom Cable told us Louis Murphy came into camp with a chip on his shoulder, upset that he was drafted in the 4th round, and still plays with that idea that he's going to prove everybody wrong.
And this is a good job giving Denver a little taste of their own medicine, getting Murphy lined up on matched up on a linebacker. You see DJ Williams there, and that's what you want. You want to create the matchups that are advantageous for you as an offense. Get receivers like Murphy, move them in the slot, and get them matched up on linebackers like DJ Williams.
Murphy, who was overshadowed in Florida by Percy Harvin, off to a terrific start in his NFL career.
They're going to run it here.
And it will be Russell on a handoff for McFadden. Apparently Denver knew exactly what you were thinking. No gain.
Well, they're not a big audible team, the Raiders, and I can tell when the quarterback gets up at the line of scrimmage and he starts giving the hand signals that they're dummy hand signals, because Jamarcus Russell and the Raiders offensively really don't audible much at the line of scrimmage. So that to me is a very clear sign that they're probably going to run the ball in that situation.
Tom Cable, head coach, and calls the plays for the Oakland Raiders. His first full year as a head coach in the NFL, 17th head coach in Raiders history.
He did a wonderful job in that 2-minute drill last week against Kansas City. Kept his poise.
McFadden again. Spin move by McFadden. Denver ripped away the football, and it's still loose. Zach Miller able to come up with it. As McFadden got turned around, he was at a tough angle trying to push his way for extra yardage, and the ball came free.
And that's usually when it comes out, when you're fighting for extra yardage and when you're in piles. Just watch here. Good shot from the end zone. You see him spinning, you see him churning, trying to get extra yards. Good job, good alert play by that Denver defense trying to get their hands in. Ball extraction. It's something they work on every day in practice. Just a good play there by Mario Hagan. You can see him ripping that one out.
And Hagan, who's been really one of the big surprises on this Denver defense, he was a special team standout with the Buffalo Bills. He's found his role, and McDaniels told us he believes he's finally playing his correct position in the 3-4.
A lot of movement in that defense, but they found some linebackers that they really feel good about.
50th anniversary of the AFL. 2 of the original 8 teams going head-to-head here in Oakland. The Broncos with a 10-0 lead over the Raiders.
Jamarcus Russell right here, all you got to think about is a completion. A completion will probably get you in field goal range. You just can't afford to take a sack.
Out of the gun on 3rd and long. Russell steps perfect and throws to Zach Miller. He has been Mr. Reliable for the Oakland Raiders on offense. Brings it down to the 30-yard line. It's short of a 1st down, but now in field goal range as Jack Williams makes the stop. 12-yard pickup for Russell and the Raiders.
And that's all you wanted to accomplish right there. Just a good job finding your tight end and checking it down. Now letting him pick up some yardage and giving your field goal kicker, Sebastian Janikowski, a chance. The player you have to defend in the passing game for the Raiders right now, it's Zach Miller, the tight end. The percentages go way up when they throw to the tight end. He has a certain comfort level with this tight end.
Last week, Janikowski had field goals from 48 yards and 54 yards away. This is a 48-yard attempt. Janikowski. And Oakland is on the board. An important 3rd down throw from Russell to Miller to bring Oakland within field goal range, and then Sebastian Janikowski knocked through a 48-yard field goal.
Well, he had 4 touchbacks last week in Kansas City. There's a reason why Al Davis went out and drafted Sebastian Janikowski in the 1st round 10 years ago. He's been a very productive kicker for the Raiders.
He is the Raiders' all-time leading scorer. He kicks off to Eddie Royal.
5 yards deep.
Take it out of the end zone, and here comes Royal. Oh, spilled out across the 20-yard line. And rejoining you here in Oakland, the Denver Broncos have won 5 of their last 6 against the Oakland Raiders. Last meeting, though, was Oakland with a 31-10 victory in November of last season. Russell that day went 10 of 11 for 152 yards and a touchdown. McFadden had a couple of touchdowns. Kyle Orton was in Chicago.
You know, it's interesting, we sat down with Kyle Orton last night and got a chance to look at that knuckle on his right index finger. It's still not completely healed. He is wearing that glove on his throwing hand, and I know that he doesn't like it. I went through my career 17 years. I wore a glove in one game because of weather, and I hated it.
And Orton will hand it off to Correll Buckhalter. Big hole, and Buckhalter breaking to the clear into Oakland territory. Correll Buckhalter last week ripped off a 45-yard touchdown. Another big run for Buckhalter.
You're going to see this gap right here. They do a nice job. They get movement at the point of attack. We talk about run fits. You see the guard come in and kick out, and then Buckhalter does the rest. You have to be gap responsible against a good offensive line and a great running team in the Denver Broncos.
A 34-yard burst for Buckhalter. Comes in this week 3rd in the NFL in yards per carry, over 7 yards per clip, behind Chris Johnson and Felix Jones. Fake the handoff play, never happens. Flag comes down.
False start, offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
This is actually the first Bronco regular season game that Ed Hockley has worked since week 2 of last season. Memorable Broncos-Chargers game that ended in controversy.
Well, you know, John Marshall, a defensive coordinator for the Raiders, they really made it a point of emphasis to improve their run defense. They were 31st a year ago. They held LaDainian Tomlinson and Darren Sproles to 77 yards rushing the first week. They've been better in that area.
Out of the gun, Orton has got plenty of time and could survey exactly who he wanted to throw to. Jabbar Gaffney has become a very dependable top. Shotgun, 2nd and 7. Buckhalter again, squeezing through a hole. And Buckhalter able to keep his legs moving for a 6-yard pickup. It'll set up 3rd and short. On a 3rd and 1 here for Denver. That's the first time we've mentioned his name today. Marino. Oh, second effort was enough to get him the first down. Ricky Brown was over there as Marino shifted and turned his body sideways and was able to lean forward for first down yardage.
That's a great luxury to have defensively. Nnamdi Asomugha went to his first Pro Bowl a year ago with just 1 interception. Isn't that amazing? But, you know, you watch the tape, and he just doesn't show up. Quarterbacks, they really focus on other ways to attack the Raiders defensively and stay away from a guy like Nnamdi Asomugha, who has those long arms and can really jam you and disrupt you at the line of scrimmage.
A 3-year deal, guaranteed $28.5 million. Orton in stride. He's got Gaffney. Well, Kyle Orton told us as he was watching the New England offensive plays from last year, he continued to see Jabbar Gaffney make play after play in his preparation for this year.
The Raiders are going to have to do something here. This is a problem right now. They're running these little option routes, and they can't control these receivers. You're matching up Kirk Morrison, your linebacker, your middle linebacker, on guys like Brandon Stokely, Eddie Royal, Jabbar Gaffney. You can't do that. You're going to have to make a change defensively.
Orton has been very solid in this first half, 7 of 10. On a give, Marino never quite got his footing. Seemed to be off balance as he picks up 3 yards, and Asomugha helping in run support.
Well, you know, this Denver offense, they've had a reputation for consistently being able to produce an effective running game. It goes back to the days when Alex Gibbs was here. Now you have an offensive line coach like Rick Dennison, who trained under Alex Gibbs. Despite the fact that they've changed philosophies offensively with Josh McDaniels, there's still a priority in running the ball effectively.
On a 2nd and 7, Buckhalter checks back in for Denver. And Orton will be parallel to Buckhalter. Shotgun formation. Orton steps and throws on the money to Jabbar Gaffney. Curls it upfield. It's a 1st and goal for Denver inside the 5. 15-yard pickup for the Broncos. Denver in the red zone, 1st and goal inside the Oakland 5. This is the 8th play of the drive for the Broncos. Marino in the backfield for Denver. Handoff, no Sean Marino. Nowhere to go. Richard Seymour, first man there for Oakland.
Well, this guy can play anywhere along your defensive line. He gives you great flexibility. The 5-time Pro Bowler in Richard Seymour. That's why they went out and made that trade. This guy, Ian, as I talked about earlier in the game, aside from his playmaking ability, I think he's really going to help this young football team in terms of their leadership, in terms of the toughness that he can bring to this defense.
3 Super Bowls for Seymour in New England, 5 Pro Bowls. He is a difference maker here for the Raiders. On a 2nd and goal, Buckhalter and Hillis. Timeout. Denver Broncos playing their first game within the AFC West. They have won their last 9 consecutive divisional openers. They've got a 10-3 lead on Oakland with 1:19 to go in this first half. 2nd and goal for Denver. Orton to throw. Fires. Incomplete. In the direction of Peyton Hillis, it sets up 3rd and goal for the Broncos.
Well, the Raiders play so much man-to-man defense. It's a good job by that secondary passing things up. You're going to see Tyvon Branch coming into play, but good job communicating on the back end for the Raiders.
Kyle Orton, 8 of 12, 82 yards and a touchdown so far.
This guy has good pocket awareness, Kyle Orton. Clearly understands their protection schemes, where they're vulnerable, and what they're trying to do offensively.
Motion man is Gaffney. Denver trying to add to its lead. Orton rush coming, and incomplete. Eddie Royal was over there. Michael Huff almost came up with yet another pick. He had a pair last week in the victory over Kansas City.
Boy, this is good, a good feel. They bring the pressure off the edge. You're going to see Michael Huff. Again, 3 interceptions already so far this season, Ian. He had 1 in 3 years prior to that. A former #1 draft pick. They were down on him, but he is playing very well the first 3 weeks here of the season.
Thorpe Award winner back in 2005 out of Texas. And a short field goal attempt for Matt Prater. 21 yards away with 1:12 to go in this 2nd quarter. And Prater bangs it through. It's the 98th regular season meeting between the Raiders and the Broncos. Oakland leads the all-time series with a mark of 55, 40, and 2. Right now, Denver with the lead, 13-3. 1:09 to go in this 2nd quarter. And while the offense has been very solid for Denver, really the storyline this year, Rich, the D in Denver stands for defense. That's not what anybody expected in this first year under Mike Nolan's tutelage as the defensive coordinator. A new philosophy in the 3-4 alignment. Prater kicks off to Jonathan Holland, and Holland from 1 yard deep in the end zone. And Holland is brought down to the 15-yard line by Wesley Woodyard. And Nolan back in the Bay Area. He was the head coach of the 49ers in 2005 before being fired in 2008. Short toss to Michael Bush. And while it looked like he might have some room to work with, Denver able to plug together, and DJ Williams brings him down. A 4-yard gain. Down to 48 seconds left in this first half. Raiders not moving with any sense of urgency, looking to go conservative here. It looks. Look out. And Russell able to get rid of it just in time for Bush, who's buried at the 20-yard line by Elvis Dumervil. 33 seconds left to play in this first half. It was Oakland who took the timeout there to stop the clock.
A little surprised in that situation, and I anticipate that they'll run it right here.
On a 3rd and 6.
Screener draw.
Russell looking to throw it. Steps up and fires underneath for Michael Bush, who's got a first down out near the 30-yard line. Clock is moving, though. 22 seconds left. 7-yard pickup on the connection. Russell to Bush.
It's taking a lot of time.
Well, they're just looking to get off the field here. 9 seconds left. Russell out of the pocket. Russell on the move, throwing on the run, and he's got Miller into Denver territory. Only 2 seconds remain, though.
Wow, what a great catch on the boundary. Just look at this. Good that foot's going to be close there. I'm sure that one's going to be challenged. And they're doing the best thing they can, trying to get the kicking team on the field and get a quick kickoff before Denver has a chance to challenge.
Well, remember, no, it's a booth review under 2 minutes, so the officials recognize that, and they're going to take a look at it.
But I am going back to the play itself. A good example.
Pass.
Yeah, booth review here for the officials to take a look. Miller was out of bounds on that first glance. And Ed Hockley will make the announcement.
The receiver's left foot came down on the white line. Therefore, the pass was incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. 20 yards. There are 4 seconds on the clock. Please reset the clock to 0-4.
Well, another look at it, Zach Miller, and Bob Dekas, our producer, he is famous for this push-in shot. Did it in the NCAA tournament with Patrick Sparks and the Kentucky Wildcats. That's going to be his legacy in sports television right there.
That's it. Well, hey, this is a situation with 4 seconds left. You run a play, and it is 4th down, so you have to be smart with it. Clock should run out. You just don't want to put Shane Leckler, your punter, on the field and kick one and then give Denver a chance to return it.
So 4 seconds remain. Denver with a 13-3 lead.
Actually, it's 2nd now. I was looking at the scoreboard on the stadium here, so they can run a play here and head to the halftime down 13-3.
And that's exactly what they'll do. Handoff for Bush. He's thrown down. Fans react here in Oakland. So the Denver Broncos behind Kyle Orton. This offense still yet to commit a turnover, having played 2.5 games. The victory over Cleveland last week when they produced 449 yards of offense and held the Browns to 200 yards. And you look at the Oakland Raiders, total yards, an issue again, only 98 total yards in the first half.
If they can't run the ball, they really struggle offensively.
Kickoff to Eddie Royal. He's going to take a knee, and Denver's going to open up from the 20-yard line.
You know, I think the experiences in Chicago for Kyle Orton, good and bad, I think really helped prepare him for this opportunity in Denver. I think he's a guy that, you know, he isn't going to throw it, 400 yards each week, but he's a very savvy player, very smart, good decision maker, and that's the kind of guy that can really thrive in Josh McDaniels' offense.
You know, for whatever reason now in the NFL, the idea of being a game manager, quote unquote, is a negative connotation. We're going to get into this in a moment. Yeah. Kyle Orton.
I played 17 years being a game manager. I think you win a lot of games doing that.
Handoff, Noshawn Marino, and Marino driving to the 25-yard line. Give him a gain of 6. Tommy Kelly there with the stop. First half possessions for the Denver Broncos. Touchdown and a couple of field goals.
Well, they took advantage of the turnovers, as we talked about, and the good starting field position, and that's something that good offenses do. They play off of their defense, generating turnovers and field position, and Kyle Orton was very sharp there in the first half.
And a 3-receiver set here for Denver. Once again, out of the gun. Seen a lot of Orton out of the shotgun formation throughout this young season. On a cross, and he's got Daniel Graham for a first down to the 35. So let me pose the question to you. When did that somehow become a negative in the NFL to be a good game manager at the quarterback position?
Well, I think we fall in love with guys like Brett Favre and even Jay Cutler, guys that can throw it all over the field, even a guy like Jamarcus Russell. But it's not always about that. It's about being a good decision maker. Even guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, just good guys that understand field position, ball security, situational football. I think you have a chance to win with players like that.
Just underway here in the third quarter. Straight line for Marino. And looks like he could be just a little bit short for a first down out of the 45-yard line. Did Kyle Orton get a bad rap in Chicago? He won games consistently. Did he get a bad rap league-wide?
I think he did. I mean, here's a guy that, whether he likes it or not, there's always going to be comparisons to Jay Cutler, and I think that that's just the reality of it. But he seems like a very mature guy, a guy that's really excited about this opportunity. And regardless of whether you like it or not, he won a lot of football games in Chicago.
21-12 as a starter for the Bears. First down and more. Buckhalter! Terrell Buckhalter putting on a show when he hits the open field. That's a 23-yard rip for Buckhalter.
Well, we talked about tackling, how important that was going to be today for this Raiders defense, not getting off of blocks and not tackling on the second level. That was important. This is an offense that can really hurt you with guys like Terrell Buckhalter, certainly Noshawn Marino, and these receivers who are very slippery in the open field.
7 carries for 85 yards for Buckhalter. Russ Hochstein has slipped in at left guard. for the Denver Broncos.
Where they give you so much one-on-one coverage, all this man-to-man, a lot of opportunities in the passing game.
And the pitch to the former Raider Lamont Jordan. And Jordan, a physical runner, now in his 9th year in the NFL, formerly with the Raiders and with the Jets, spent last year with the New England Patriots. It's a 3-yard gain.
Just getting back to Kyle Orton, this is a completely different offense for him to learn. And it was a long and tedious process. It started the day after the trade. And you know how he learned this system? He went back and watched New England cut-ups from a year ago with Josh McDaniels. That's how he learned the terminology, the verbiage, and the concepts in the passing game.
Yeah, McDaniels told us Orton and Sims, Chris Sims, the backup, would show up every day, 7 a.m. to watch every cut-up of the Patriots from last year. Orton in the pocket and hits his man, Jabbar Gaffney. And Orton told us that Gaffney has been a go-to guy for him because he was so familiar with the Patriots. Flags come down, pushing and shoving. And look who lost his helmet again, Ryan Clady.
Well, they can't afford to lose a guy like Ryan Clady, a solid left tackle for them. The best thing that he could do is put his helmet back on and get in the huddle. He's a guy you cannot afford to lose. You can see
Personal
Josh
foul,
McDaniels right
unnecessary roughness defense, number 92, pulling the player's hair. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's why we saw Clady react the way he did to Richard Seymour.
Now, how can you possibly pull a player's hair? Let's take a look at this. See him right there pushing and jawing. Now he gets him back on the ground.
All right there.
Yeah, this is not a good play by Richard Seymour. He is too good of a football player to put his defense and his football team in this kind of situation. You just can't give a good football team like Denver these many opportunities.
Well, they spot the ball at the 14-yard line. Tom Cable's defense now back on its heels with the Broncos in front 13-3. Orton is 10 of 15, 93 yards and a touchdown for the ground game. And Marino cutting it to the outside. O'Shawn Marino showing off his speed. All first-team SEC performer from Georgia. He brings quickness to the field, and he turns that into a 7-yard gain. So Buckhalter, good numbers. Marino now goes over 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, clearly the plan as they came in against this Oakland defense is to stay away from Nnamdi Asomugha and Chris Johnson, the corners, attack the middle of the field, attack these linebackers and safeties, and run the ball up inside, and they've done a very good job of that so far.
On a 2nd and 3, 145 rushing yards for the Broncos. Marino tries the other side and slicing his way for the touchdown. O'Shawn Marino.
I'll tell you what, this offensive line of the Denver Broncos, Hamilton and Clady and Cooper and Harris and Wigman, they're doing a good job up front, getting pushed, and they're very athletic. You're going to see Clady here, the tackle. Look at him get out in front and try and make a cut block on Nnamdi Asomugha, and that's what they give you. They give you a good, firm, physical presence in the running game, but they're athletic enough to get out on the edge and really create some havoc.
O'Shawn Marino, first career NFL touchdown.
What did I say? The Raiders' ability to stop the run, was going to be very important. Denver has rushed the ball 24 times for 152 yards. They're averaging 6.3 a carry. It's a real problem right now for this Raiders defense.
And this crowd has gone very quiet as Prater kicks the extra point. And the Raiders now in a 20-3 hole. Early stages, third quarter. Prater kicks it off. Jonathan Holland going to take this one out, a yard deep. Holland's got a running lane and accelerates to the 30-yard line for Oakland, a 31-yard return. Also on the offensive line, Ben Hamilton, hamstring trouble, is returned probable. Alfonso Smith, an ankle problem early in this game. Darren McFadden, oh, he took a shot. Ryan Dawkins with the hit. And McFadden pops up as Tony Stewart with a block. It's a 10-yard gain.
Well, this guy right here, Brian Dawkins, he brings a physical presence that was missing in the secondary. And they've really upgraded that secondary. A lot of experience and production back there with guys like Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins.
Well, he told us Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator, wants the defense to be offensive. Attack mode, very physical group.
They have the players in that back end to do it.
And they've come together very quickly in that secondary. Hand off to McFadden again. McFadden caught around the ankles by DJ Williams, a 4-yard pickup. Williams, a solid tackler. And it's Justin Farkas who gets an opportunity. And look at all the white jerseys converge. Andre Davis, first man there. Passing situation here on a 3rd and 6 from the 44 from the gun. Handle the rush. Russell with a touch pass right to midfield and Zach Miller. And it should be enough for a first down. Well, let's see where they spot the football. No, he needed just a little bit more out across midfield. And they spot it at the 50.
Well, you know, one thing they can't, you go go back and look at this football team, and they need balance offensively. You can't be a one-dimensional football team. Right now, that's what they are. And you go back a year ago, Ian, this was the case as well. They were 10th in rushing last year, but they were dead last, 32nd in passing. And we're seeing that same trend develop here through the first 3 games of the season. They're running the ball with some success, but they can't get any big opportunities or plays in the passing game.
Just about the length of the football short.
And you have to go for it here, obviously. Give your team a chance to get back in this football game.
So Tom Cable leaves his offense on the field.
The frustrating thing for Tom Cable, because they run the ball as much as they do and as well as they do, there should be a lot of opportunities, some one-on-one opportunities with these receivers on the outside lanes. They get so many heavy 8-man boxes in the running game that these receivers should have big opportunities if they can just find a way to beat man-to-man coverage.
Well, it's Michael Bush in the backfield. He's the thumper of the group. At 6'1", 245 pounds.
Yeah, got to find a way to get 12 inches. Got to count on that offensive line up there and your big running back, Michael Bush.
Or Jamarcus Russell, who's 6'6" himself. Oh, he's going to take it. Flag comes down. Now Russell has enough for the first down.
That's going to be on Denver, huh? Good job by Jamarcus Russell using the hard count.
Offside. Defense, nose guard. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So this drive continues now for Oakland with 8:19 to go in the 3rd.
Just watch, you're going to get a little hard count right here. Watch the movement right there. Good job with the hard count by Jamarcus Russell. And that's just a good alert play by the young quarterback.
And they get bonus yards out of it on the penalty to the 45. So now in Denver territory and a fresh set of downs to work with. Fargas didn't see him at all on offense in the first half, now getting an opportunity. Fake the handoff. Russell, protection is there. Russell on a pump and throw, incomplete. Zach Miller, the intended target.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got a break there. They really did. Brian Dawkins, this is a route they run all the time. Zach Miller off of play action. It's one of their best passing concepts and something that Jamarcus Russell is very comfortable with, but Brian Dawkins grabs him right there as he's starting to work back to the corner, and he gets away with one in the secondary.
So a 2nd and 10 now for Oakland. 14 rushes, 15 passes so far for the Raiders. On the pitch. And McFadden will pick up a yard. Hagan and Davis combine to bring him down.
Well, a lot of Jamarcus Russell's success so far, you see here, you look at the balance, but a lot of it has come when he's checked the ball down to his backs or he's worked the tight end. Not a lot of success on those outside lanes thrown to those 2 young receivers, Darius Hayward-Bay and Lewis Murphy.
Now, so far today, Hayward-Bay was the target on a couple of passes. Both intercepted. Murphy, 2 catches for 25 yards. Leading receiver is Michael Bush with 4 catches. Shotgun. Russell steps. Russell in trouble. And Russell will go down. Elvis Dumervil, first man there. And the sack parade continues for the undersized pass rusher, Dumervil.
And watch what the Denver defense, this is a good job by Mike Nolan. Look, they're double covering the tight end right here. They have a linebacker and the safety right back in here. They double cover the tight end. And watch, Jamarcus Russell is locked onto him the whole time. And there's Elvis Dumervil with the easy sack.
And the Raiders forced a punt. Shane Leckler standing at his own 35-yard line along the infield. Eddie Royal. This one will bounce up in the air and down at the 5. And rejoining you here in Oakland, want to welcome our viewers on KFDA, our CBS affiliate in Amarillo, Texas. Hope you're enjoying this one. Denver with a 20-3 lead over Oakland. There was a penalty. Eddie Royal, after calling for the fair catch, blocked, which is illegal, a personal foul. 6:43 to go in this third quarter. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, the rest of our CBS crew.
You know, when you look at this offensive game plan, it's very similar to what we saw last year when New England played out here. And again, of course, who was calling the plays? Josh McDaniels.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the receiving team, number 19. Blocking after signaling for a fair catch. That foul is enforced from the spot of the foul, which is half the distance. The dead ball spot is actually a better choice. Therefore, the penalty is declined. First down.
Well, there you go. A very full description from Ed Hockley, number 85.
You see Josh McDaniels right there. And we visited with him last night. He said he went back and took a very long, hard look at that tape from last year in the New England game on how to attack this Raider defense.
Well, it's working. 245 yards of offense. Compare that to Oakland's 112 on first down. And a handoff up the middle. It is Correll Buckhalter, met by Branch. 5-yard gain for Denver. Limping off